Hey everyone, happy Friday. I wanted to do a market update video on MetaZoo Nightfall. So I last did a video last weekend during the release weekend, and we saw a lot of supply start to hit, but overall the price was holding pretty well between $250 and $300. Over the past week, we've seen a lot of that supply start hitting a lot more. I think a lot of people are actually starting to get their product in hand. I noticed that on eBay, there are a lot more of the event release decks and the spell books actually being on hand. It used to be a lot of sellers just had pre-orders or said that there was going to be a late October ship and they were just using that stock photo of those items. But now people are actually taking live photos of the stock that they have in hand. So I know that Cardinal Gaming had said those were delayed, and if those are coming in, I'm sure people are also getting their boxes. And sure enough, all week you've been seeing floods of MetaZoo Nightfall hit TCG Player, and you can see that the current market price is currently around $230, so it has definitely been falling below that $250 mark. I saw a few sales over the last few days start getting into like $220 some odd dollars, but you're also seeing a lot of people come in and swoop up large amounts of product. And in fact, I'd say that there's a lot more of that happening as the price is starting to lower, and I think that's a pretty good sign, because it seems like a lot of people are probably going to be buying a lot of boxes either to invest in or to open up and try to look for old scratch. I can't imagine that too many people are trying to be opening boxes and flip singles for a profit, because the singles prices are also kind of in line with the booster boxes right now. And honestly, they don't seem that expensive to me. We'll take a look at some of the holos in a minute, which you can see here dipping down to 225, starting to pick up and kind of hold steady at around $230. And look at this. So someone bought like 20, groups of 6, another group of 10, another group of 10, 6, 4. So people are buying these in large amounts. And it's hard to say what people are really trying to do. They want to hold it until the supply dwindles and the prices start to move up again, or if they're looking for the old scratch secret rare. Personally, I don't think people will be buying up lots of boxes to open up a lot of boxes and get a lot of singles and try to flip them. I'm not sure there's really a great opportunity right now to be doing that, but all in all, there is a lot of daily purchases and often in large quantities. So we'll see if these prices keep going down. I think it's really going to depend on how much more supply hits in the short term. I do think that over the midterm, we're going to start to see prices go up at least steadily, and who knows if things will kind of blast off like the first edition Cryptid Nation ones did. You just can never know with these kinds of things, and it's hard to just know if people are buying these to actually open them up, and if they're doing that, then the sealed supply is of course going down. Or are people literally sitting on these boxes, and how long will they be willing to hold them for? I do think though that it is kind of reassuring that even though these prices are dropping, there are people coming in and buying large quantities on a daily basis within this first week. Now we'll have to see too. I know Rudy from Alpha Investments is still doing his patron sale, I think sometime over this weekend. I don't know if it's on Halloween or on a day around that, but that's going to be another big supply drop as patrons are going to be flipping their product onto the market. So you're going to definitely see that supply hit. And then there's still probably going to be even more supply coming out after that, as some people maybe decide to go ahead and sell, maybe get a little bit afraid, feel like this is the best opportunity they're going to get after getting in really early and still being able to make a profit. Some people might be going to take a loss to prevent future losses, so you're going to see those hit the market. So all in all, I think over the next few weeks, you're going to see the biggest supply hits, and then it's going to be really interesting to kind of see whether it consolidates from there, starts to creep out back up, or blasts off like Cryptid Nation First Edition boxes did. There are twice as many of these boxes, so I think it's really going to depend. It's hard to gauge whether there's twice as much demand as there was for the first edition, how many more people have come in, if that number is even the same or even lower. So these are all things that are part of the unknowns and honestly kind of make it fun to follow and be a part of. All right, so we're checking out the high to low product rankings for Nightfall. You can see, I forgot to mention the Nightfall spell books have also taken a huge hit. Something like just 2 days ago, they were $100 and above that. The pre-orders before that were like 115 or above that. And now you can find the lowest listing at $68.75. So definitely you're seeing those spell books come in and the impact that that supply is having on the market. Nightfall blister packs are down to $14.99 for the cheapest price listed. I got mine at $25, so it definitely wasn't as low as $15. Wanted to get it from a reputable dealer. All in all, I'm happy with it. It wasn't a huge loss to me, and I just kind of wanted to open these blister packs up for fun. Honestly, it's not that big of a loss. I don't really care. So, interestingly, I was thinking that the Mothman holo from Nightfall would be the most sought after card, but it's actually this Grim Reaper, the gold #1 card from the set. I don't really see this changing. The #1 card from the set is kind of iconic, even though Chupacabra was not really the most expensive card for Nightfall. But considering it's Grim Reaper and it represents death and it's themed around Halloween, it just makes a lot of sense for the first card in the set, and definitely I can see this being iconic for Nightfall. So we're looking at the Grim Reaper card up close now, and you can see the lowest price of the Near Mint Holo is $59.69. That has dropped a little bit, but this guy has been holding pretty steady. You can see he's fluctuating between that $40 and $60 range, and I anticipate that he'll continue to be the most sought after. It's just a guess. That's my speculation. But I think the art just has a really nice eye appeal. It's very simplistic. I think this is a good chance of being a very iconic card for Nightfall. And it kind of reminds me of the Skeleton King from Diablo. And that boss they brought back from Diablo 1. Just a really iconic character. And I'm kind of feeling that simplicity, and I'm definitely kind of feeling this one. Over here you can see our Mothman, so the most expensive card from first edition Cryptid Nation. Of course, outside of the secret rares, when I'm talking about those. Holding steady between $40 and $60, so this has definitely come down a little bit as well. What's interesting about these cards is that they are under $100, and if you look at Mothman from first edition right now, those are selling between $350 and $400 or more. The lowest price right now is $370. I remember when these were going for like $120 at launch, and they've since doubled, more than doubled. All things being equal, these should be about half of the most popular holos from the first set. I mean, granted, the first set is not going to be judged quite the same as the second, but at least as of right now, I feel like there's some kind of market miscommunication between the prices of the Nightfall holos versus the market price of the first edition holos. I remember Rudy from Alpha Investments was talking about how he had envisioned Flesh and Blood products in a similar way. For example, if the first edition Welcome to Wraith boxes were $4,000, then Arcane Rising should be $2,000, Crucible of War should be $1,000, and then Monarch should be half of that at $500. But I think also he wasn't considering that there's always a greater premium placed on the set that is before the most recent set, and that's not going to be a very clean cut by half or whatever. I think right now you should definitely go in and get what you want if you want to collect the product. I'm still going to be working in my binder set. I have these 6 blister packs that finally came in. I'm going to be opening these. I already opened up 2 event release decks. And I'm going to see how much the prices dip on the singles. I might start picking up some things here and there and see how attainable a full base set is going to be without having to open any of my boxes. We're going to see. I still might open one for fun. Over the next week or two, there's definitely going to be more supply hitting, so there's a chance that the prices are going to dip further. We're going to see what the supply in the next week does and what Rudy from Alpha Investments patrons will do. That'll add some more supply, but who knows how much. So one thing's for sure, I think if Nightfall succeeds, we're going to have another sort of coin flip with Wilderness. If Nightfall continues to go down in price, kind of like Monarch first edition Flesh and Blood boxes do, I think that's going to create a really negative perception and drive Booster boxes for Wilderness, way down, just like Monarch drove Tales of Aria booster boxes way down. But I actually think there's a lot of opportunity there. I've started to buy Tales of Aria cold foils because I think that those are a little bit suppressed from the negative perception of Aria booster boxes. You know, if you just want to get some boxes and open them up for fun and collect, or even if you want to take a risk and think about these as an investment opportunity, these aren't terrible prices. I got mine at $300 and I'm fine with that. It's a long-term hold for me, so if it doesn't work out and if MetaZoo were to ultimately fail, which I don't think it will, that's not a lot of money lost on my end. Then I'll just open them up all the way, look for the secret rare and make a few binder sets and have some full binder pages of my favorite holos and just call it a day and move on. So let me know what you all doing. Are you thinking about picking up any booster boxes or any other Nightfall products right now? Are you going to wait to see if the prices dip even further? Have you already gotten some product? Have you started opening it? Are you holding on to it? What are your thoughts? Have you been watching the market? Are you getting anxious at all? Are you excited? Do you think that it's going to be moving up pretty soon? And when do you think it's going to turn around if things start to climb? Do you think that demand is going to start dropping along with that supply? Or do you think things are just going to keep ratcheting up as we move on to Wilderness, the third MetaZoo expansion? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll definitely be trying to do future market update videos for Nightfall. We'll see what happens after Halloween and after next week. And of course, if there's any huge surge or downtick or change in the market, I'll try to put out another video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.